Is this your house?
This is my private room in my house.
I love the wall of books.
Messy, messy. What the hell?
Why should they be organized? Like, it's not a library. You know?
I know where everything is.
Well, yeah. And even if you don't, you can look for it and find it, right?
Exactly.
So I think when everything hit, you seemed uniquely positioned to be able to roll with it, right? Because I think people are used to watching movies on screen. That's where movies happen. Movies happen on a screen. When it first hit, what was the Vermont International Film Festival's reaction? What did you guys do when, like, in the middle of March when all the other venues are closing down? Did you have time to sit and stand back and look at things? Were there all types of events happening already?
Time has lost its meaning. We had no time. We were about to launch our Global Roots Film Festival on April 3rd that we'd been working on for 5 months from the previous year. And we suddenly had to cancel it. So first we canceled, but then we had no idea what we were going to do because there was online streaming. I mean, we're not Netflix, we're not Amazon. We had never streamed films before. However, luckily, our regular film distributors also started panicking because they already saw the writing on the wall. No films. If the art house theaters or us film festivals will have no films to show, they will go down, so that when lockdown or when the pandemic goes away, not only if the theaters are not there, the distributors won't be there either. So that's how it all started. It was with 1 or 2 film distributors, art house distributors, who said, okay, let's figure out a new system of supplying and licensing films. And we were right in there from the start. And we then had a virtual festival in October. Right. And we had no idea how that would work. I mean, we'd never done a virtual festival before. Would people want to watch the films? Would they buy passes? Would they engage in the panel discussions on Zoom, live streamed? We had no idea. Would they, are people fed up with watching stuff online or being at their computers all day long? Can we interest them enough? So we took a chance. And the way we adapted is we presented a very, very different festival from our normal festival. The Vermont International is usually a big panorama of what we think are the most interesting, best independent films from around the world. This time we thought nobody's going to have, it was just before the election. Our festival ended the day before the elections, which was another thing. Who's going to want to see some obscure film with high artistic merit from, I don't even want to name a place because that might sound like I'm putting down that particular place.
I hear you.
But you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
So we did a political festival for the first time in 25 years.
And why not? We're all scared to death and we can't get our mind off politics anyway, so you might as well cater to the vibe.
Cater to the vibe, exactly. And people engaged. That was very, very interesting. I mean, very heartwarming. And
so it met your expectations, the level of engagement and the number of people that you had watching?
More than what we expected. But then I had lowered my expectations in advance so as not to be disappointed.
It has been an expectation lowering time.
It has definitely been that. I mean, you've got to laugh. There's nothing we can do, so we might as well laugh. And at least for film organizations, we are losing this face-to-face event, which is very, very important in terms of even Q&As after a screening. When you have the actual filmmaker there on stage and or in the lobby, in a theater lobby afterwards with a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, it's so exciting. You don't have that. Zooms are not the same. Mm-hmm. At the same time, we've also discovered that there is flexibility in virtual events, virtual screenings. Mm-hmm. that you don't have with physical screening. You can actually put on the film. People can watch it any time of day or night if they want to. They might have been busy. Or we have amongst our audience, for example, an important section of it who don't like driving after dark. They could now watch the film. They could participate because they could watch it from the comfort of their own homes. I hate to use that cliche.
No. I think in terms of accessibility, this period's actually opened up a lot of issues, like people that can't make it to the theater for whatever reason, to your theater, my theater, then this actually gives them a way to take part in and be a part of the process for all the other things that we do give up. Do you think this will impact this period of that we're in and will be in for a while longer, will impact how people see movies? Can movie theaters come back, or will people just be used to watching movies? Because it was already a process with Netflix and Criterion, and every movie you want to see can be seen on your TV. So it was already a process that seemed a little underway to me. Do you think it's something that will come back, gathering in movie theaters, that kind of thing?
Well, hopefully it will come back. People still like to gather. And but what won't go away is the virtual aspect. There's a new term that the film distributors are using now. It's called duplex screenings, where they're talking about when theaters reopen, they will offer the films both for, physical screenings, but at the same time, also virtual. Mm-hmm. So it'll be a whole new system. And I think that'll offer, hopefully, for example, the Vermont International Film Festival next October might be a duplex festival. Mm-hmm. Hopefully by then we'll have the vaccine and, but it would be great to also offer the option of watching films virtually. And I think some people will do both. Well, that's my hope anyway. Yeah.
So at the beginning, you said there were things that worked and things that didn't. What's an example when you were starting out of something that worked beyond what you thought it would?
Our reach, because there are fewer geographical, limitations in the virtual world, we can reach way beyond Chittenden County. Even before we reached beyond Chittenden County, people would come from here and there, but they didn't fly over from Alaska to watch a film at our festival. And we have people from Alaska who watched every film in our festival. We have someone in Australia who did. Someone in London I saw bought a couple of tickets. That's exciting.
That's very exciting.
Well, I tell you what else was good. The panels we had, because the program was almost identical to what was supposed to happen in April, the Global Ritz Film Festival we had to cancel.
Right.
At the time, I had invited various filmmakers and journalists to participate in the Q&As. And a few of them couldn't because they were so far away, and it would have taken them a day to fly over and then a day to be here and a day to, and they were busy. These are busy people. Well, they could all join this time. We got them all, even, so that was another advantage.
You're still showing movies on a regular basis? So you still streaming?
We are going to open with 8 new films on December 1st.
8 at once?
We're changing our, that's what I said, we're learning on the fly.
Yes.
And we've now decided that because flexibility in a way is key, people need a choice. So we are going to choose every month between 6 and 8 films. They're all going to open on the first of the month. You noticed I used the word open like as if we were.
Yes, I love it.
They're opening on the first of the month and they're going to run for a month so people can have time to, watch 1 or 2 movies a week if they want, whenever they want. And the other thing we're doing is, because, of course, like all nonprofits or arts, anyway, we certainly believe in partnerships. We've started a new 8-month partnership with Middlebury New Filmmakers Festival called Split Screen. And we're going to alternate months of curating. This is in addition to the films I just mentioned will open, of curating about 4 films about a topic or something that connects them. So each month either we will curate or Middlebury New Filmmakers will curate. and we'll see how that goes.
That's fun. So that's you. You get to pick out a topic, and then
me or my programmers.
that's pretty fun.
Yeah, actually, the one we've got planned. You're the first to hear this.
Okay.
The one I don't know who else is going to hear
Exclusive.
this. Exclusive, yeah. You read it here first. The topic that we VTIFF, December is going to be our month, as it were, for split screen, I mean. And the topic we have chosen is Vermont on film, fiction, the fiction versions of Vermont, not films that were shot in Vermont,
Right.
but, and Steve Bissett, who wrote Green Mountain Cinema and who's obviously a well-known cartoonist, and I'm sure you know him, and Luke Baines, who's on our programming committee, are going to be in conversation about each film, so it'll be like a Q&A. So this is going to be great fun.
Well, that's an exciting. And so, has your membership increased or decreased? Have you seen any movement in membership since this has come on, or not?
Well, of course, that was one of our main worries, because people are VTIFF members, partly because they want to support the arts, of course, but also because they get benefits. And suddenly we couldn't control, for a while, we couldn't control the benefits they got, especially the first few months of virtual. The distributors established the cost of a ticket and refused to allow us to give any discounts to our members.
Wow.
This has changed now because the distributors are also adapting. And we weren't the only ones who asked for members to allow us to give cheaper tickets to members, discounted or even free sometimes. And now we've built our own, not built, but we've established our own online platform with our own apps. Like we have our own VTIFF Roku app, Apple TV, Fire Stick, and so on. The distributors have been a bit, more flexible, so we're able to do that. So our concern was losing members. I have to say that I am incredibly grateful. It just shows how supportive and loyal, our members are, that they really believe that what we're doing is of value. We've hardly lost any members, and we've also gained a few new ones.
That's great.
I know
at the Flynn, we've been really bowled over by how generous people have
it's
remained.
amazing, isn't it? It's really,
everybody's under stress, and but we've seen great support from. So
I find it really very touching to see how supportive the community is for the arts. I mean, because they understand how important the arts are.
Yeah, and that is one of the great things about Burlington. Really, is you feel it walking down the street. Really, it's everywhere. With the actual support for the arts, in a regular era. In COVID, probably less so. The streets aren't quite as full as they have been. Exactly. I am so excited to hear there's a Roku VTIFF app, because I'm a Roku person. I'm going to go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right now.
Yeah.
Well, when we're done talking, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me, Orly.
Thank you, Steve.
We'll put this. I love talking to you. It was great fun.
Yeah. We'll do things together again.
We will. We'll do things together more than we did in the past. Mm-hmm. We always talk about it. It's hard to find things that work for us, but we're going to find them. And we're going to do them. So
okay.
I look forward to that.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.